What up, everybody? I am your host, JP, and this is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. Okay. So today we're gonna be reviewing a movie for you guys. I don't know how to start it off. This one's a weird one.
I noticed that as soon as you said "okay," kind of funny. I was like, wait a minute, that's not how you say those things.
Yeah, man. It's not that I want to feel like I need to tiptoe around this movie. It's more like there's so much. You know what? First of all, I'm just gonna get the first joke out of the way after you go ahead and give us the title of the movie. Josh, let them know what movie we're reviewing today.
Today we are reviewing Clone Tyrone 2023.
I don't know what that was, but that wasn't me.
Somebody is conducting experiments on us.
It's in the fucking chicken.
The shit in everything.
Great train. Come the fuck on. This our homeland. We don't do nothing about it. Nobody will.
Chill. Just fucking chill.
Shit! Boy, this motherfucker did.
Okay, we ain't got no time for no negativity. Go get me some goddamn wet that stomach.
You keep your pimp hand raised and be willing to protect the ones you love by any means necessary.
And as soon as I heard Tyrone in the name, I'm just gonna say I thought about that Tyrone dude, the one that's like, I'm here to fuck your wife. I was like,
the dude from
yeah. I was like, man, is this the movie we're gonna watch today? Is this the one?
Like, fuck your cigarette.
Yeah, I'm here to fuck your wife, and he's like smacks him up. Yeah. Whatever happened to him?
He still does TikToks, I think.
Him and Jitty on beef, right?
I don't know.
I thought isn't that when he's like, oh fuck Tyrone? Isn't that who he's talking about?
I don't know if they have beef. I don't know.
No, you don't know that whole Gideon thing. If anybody knows about that Gideon thing, let us know down below.
I just started watching Gideon. I don't know his whole backstory.
Yeah. But before we get started with the full-on review, as always, it's gonna be a spoiler review. If you guys have any movies that you guys want us to talk about, review, if you guys have any topics that you guys want us to talk about on our live streams on Twitch /FilmBros podcast, no spaces. Josh, let them know where they can. Let us know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post new episodes are up. You get us up there for any news or movies you want us to cover. We also post new episodes are up. I feel like I said that already. Anywhere you get your podcasts at FilmBros Podcast. So that's Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, things like that. Supports in a big way. Buzzsprout, link is in those bios of the socials I just gave you. Special perks and shout outs to those who do subscribe and help us out. We recognize you for helping us grow. And then, again, you can subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast and follow our Twitch for when we go live at FilmBros Podcast.
Yes, and the Twitch is so you guys can interact with us as well, so make sure you guys follow us there, hit the notification bell. We do go live. We do our topics there. So, like I said before, some episodes will be pre-recorded. Some of them will be on live streams.
Yeah.
We're still working out the schedule, so have the notification bell on. You guys want to not miss those episodes. You get shout outs when you follow and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and hit this spoiler riddled review. Clone Tyrone is currently sitting at a 94% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes with a 100% audience score.
Damn.
100%.
100%?
People really love this movie. You can agree with that?
No.
Is this Rotten Tomatoes being paid off?
Shit. Probably. No, who knows anymore? But damn, yeah, no, I don't think 100% is high. I feel because I don't think I've heard anybody talk about this movie.
What if it's racist to hate it? Maybe that's a thing.
That's a whole different topic. Racism within Hollywood and whatnot. But at 94%, we've seen critics be harsher with movies. So
yeah, so 94 isn't too crazy. I mean,
too high. I think it's too high.
Too high? You think both of them are too high? Both of them
are too high.
Okay. All right. I could feel it. Maybe. I feel like we have to have a discussion about it. Maybe you can help me find that scaling for myself, because I barely finished this movie right before we started this podcast. I was watching it yesterday, and at first I wasn't really into it, and then it pulled me in, and then towards the end it kind of gave me a weird like dip out kind of thing. So that's the thing, is that I can't say that I do not understand the movie, because I feel like I 100% understand the movie, what it was coming from, what they were trying to do, with the messages they were sending. It was just I feel like we'll probably get into it, but maybe like towards the end that kind of baffled me. But you how many times have you seen this one?
I've seen it twice.
Twice?
I watched it when it came out, and then I think I proposed the idea of doing a review earlier, but then we did a bunch of other things, and then
it just kept being pushed back.
Like, I don't even think we even got to that Extraction 2 review, right?
No, we haven't. It's just been pushed back. We've been having other things.
Yeah.
More content for you guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
So like we'll do them, but the time has been long gone. Those movies have been out for months now.
Yeah. We'll probably still give our opinion or review one of these
eventually.
days when we can get around to it. Free weekends.
Yeah. It's I don't know. But watching it twice, I understand what it's going for. I understand what they're trying to tell us, but the execution felt weird. You know what I mean?
A little weird.
Like they were trying to go deep with it, but it felt like they didn't know how to. So then to the point where they were just like, nah, man, we're trying to be deep and nuanced and make you think of all this other stuff. But I didn't really feel that towards the end.
Yeah, but I think that comes with that whole convoluted thing that happens towards the end that I was kind of telling you about as soon as I finished it. But I'll kind of dive a little bit deeper into that as we go down. But in this movie, we have John Boyega as Fontaine, Jamie Foxx as Slick Charles, Teyonah Parris as Yo-Yo, Kiefer Sutherland as Nixon, David Alan Grier as the Preacher, and more. There were so many other people. John Boyega, you've seen him in Star Wars. He is Finn.
Yeah.
Potential lovers to Poe Dameron. I don't know if anybody picked up on that.
If you're shipping them, I guess.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx, we've seen him as Electro recently in No Way Home. I heard he made a recovery, right? He didn't pass away from those injuries and stuff.
He's made a full recovery.
Oh, he's good. Yeah, no.
He's made a full recovery. He's doing good.
Oh, very good. And then Teyonah Parris, you will be seeing her in the Marvels movie from Marvel Studios. She plays Monica Rambeau.
Oh, okay.
So she, and then everybody else falls in line. Everybody knows Kiefer Sutherland. He's been in The Lost Boys. He goes way back in Hollywood. He's been around for a while.
Damn.
David Alan Grier too. The most notable, and it's funny to me because the most notable one that I know him from is from Jumanji. He was in Jumanji. He was like the shoe guy in Jumanji in the beginning that made the sneaker.
Oh yeah.
And then he winds up becoming a cop and everything like that. That's literally. I could probably think of other movies. I know he came out in like First Sunday with Ice Cube and all of them, but it's like that's the movie I know him from is Jumanji.
Okay.
How did we feel? Well, let me run it down first. So we see Fontaine. We start the movie off. We see Fontaine, and we see basically what the place is called is the Glen. Basically, that's just it.
Yeah.
They don't go into further detail where it's located or anything like that. You see him trying to make it as a drug dealer. You see all the hood activities that be happening. You see pimps, hoes, drug dealers, shootings. There was a bunch of crazy stuff. You see that he had a relationship with his younger brother that is no longer around anymore. You see later on down the road, John Boyega goes to visit Jamie Foxx's character. He winds up dying, but not really because he lives the day again. Now, when I first seen this movie, I was like, Groundhog Day. Crazy. But it actually takes it a step further. It turns out they are cloning people and trying to basically keep the area vacated.
Yeah.
And so they cause all this crime, and they're basically experimenting on all these people. By the end of the movie, we see what seems to be an older John Boyega, and they basically explain the whole story. I'm trying not to give away the whole movie, so you guys can kind of watch it on your own. And then we get a spoiler twist at the end that, if you guys don't know already, I said in the beginning, this is a spoiler review, but at the end, it's a big twist. So I'll give you guys another warning if you guys want to hear all this and just, finish the movie off or something. I don't know. But And then we get that twist at the end, and then credits roll. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's safe. Everybody's
more
happy.
or less.
More or more or less?
Less.
Oh, okay, less. I guess I already asked you what you thought when you finished the movie, right? So where I would have to go with this is, what do you think about the first 10 minutes of the movie? Because I gotta ask that first, because the first 10 minutes, I know that they were going through Fonte's life.
Yeah.
I know that they were like trying to establish that this is his area and everything, but was it me or was it boring?
It was boring.
Like there wasn't really any excitement to it.
It was boring. It was just, I mean, basic. It felt basic to me. Like, we've seen this before, man, trying to survive in the ghetto and whatnot. Like we've seen that quite a bit. And not to say it's like completely boring or whatever, but like we've seen it before.
It was a stereotype.
Yeah, it's not anything fresh. And like, yeah, we were playing through his life, but eventually you're getting down to the point like, this man's just living his life. Why are we spending 10 minutes for this?
Yeah, they could have probably spliced it up a little bit cleaner, and then, you know, after he gets shot, maybe extend it a little bit. I would say those 10 minutes, I paused it right around when he was in the motel with Jamie Foxx, and I was assuming that we were like 20 minutes deep or so. No, we were only like 8 minutes or
it's like a 2-hour movie.
It feels that first beginning 10 minutes just felt so long for me that I was surprised that I didn't pause it and just walk away for like a good minute, because I was like, yeah, no. But then it takes a quick turn and it gets a little bit better. So, I mean, if I judge this movie off those 10 minutes alone, I just kind of wanted to put it out there, because I feel like a lot of people are going to get that, where they're going to go into this movie 10 minutes late, 5 minutes in, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, why am I just watching this typical thing? It takes a minute to pick up. It does. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it is that. Maybe thinking about it, that it's a typical thing. We've seen it in mostly all, you know, other movies that we've seen, Boys in the Hood, all that, Menace to Society, all that good stuff. So I knew it was a cloning movie, but I was just like, okay, you know, they're gonna try to mix up some kind of how do you say it? Mix up some kind of man, what's the word, man? Can't put.
I don't know, man.
Either way, word salad. Moving on. I just gotta walk away from that one because my words are battling me right now. So, what do we think about the characters? How did you feel about Fonte, Slicks, Yo-Yo?
I like them.
Fonte's friend, the funny one.
Yeah. I liked most of them. Damn, my water bottle.
It just broke its neck.
Yeah, but I like them for the most part. I did. John Boyega, I think, does really good here. I like Jamie Foxx as an actor. Why is he stuck doing Netflix movies? I don't know. But he does fine here. I think what throws me off was every time he spoke, if I'm being for real. Like
John Boyega?
No, Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay,
His pimp voice or whatever was throwing me off, where he was trying to like sound slick and smooth or whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't really vibing with that. Did you find that kind of annoying?
Not really. I found him funny. I felt like he was trying to take a page out of what's his name?
Cat Williams?
Huh?
Cat Williams?
Who?
Cat Williams?
Oh, there you go. I thought you said cowboy lips. I'm like, whoa, what?
Cat Williams.
Yeah, you got to speak up over there, man. Yeah, I kind of felt like Cat Williams a little bit.
That's why.
So I was kind of rocking with it a little bit, only because I know that obviously he was imitating that kind of like pimp. I thought it was hilarious.
He was funny, but I like his voice was just throwing me off every once in a while because I don't know.
He would just go high pitched every once in a while.
Yeah. Yo-Yo was cool. Not much to her character. I do find it kind of. I found it kind of weird how she was kind of just floating around the main characters for like she didn't feel like she had any real development or whatever. You know what I mean?
I disagree. I feel like she's actually the one that had like the biggest development because she did start off as that background. I thought she was just gonna walk away and we weren't gonna see her again throughout the movie. In the beginning, and then she comes back and then plays a more prominent role up until the point where she is literally one of the lead characters, and you know she goes from just wanting money and turning the other way and wanting to leave to now wanting to stand by her people and help them out and you know do more for the community in a way. I kind of feel like it changed, and I feel like all their arcs kind of went that way. I kind of feel like everybody kind of was like, you know what, we got to stand together type thing.
Yeah.
But I think hers was like if not one of the bigger switch ups, because you could kind of see it with John Boyega's character. I kind of felt like, like I said, I thought she was leaving and maybe came back as a gag later on or something, but they actually like brought her back slowly to the point, and then she was leading it. It was like, how do you go from a background character to the front like that? It was actually pretty impressive for me.
I don't know. I feel indifferent about it. I don't know.
Did you feel like she was rammed in there?
Yeah, a little bit, because I was just like, well, she wasn't as prominent or whatever, and she didn't feel like she had all these big ambitions and stuff. And I don't know. I think
in the beginning she was saying that she wanted to leave and wanted to be a nurse or something. Like
she didn't do it. No.
Yeah, but because the hoeing game paid money. I don't know.
Well, also, like, speaking of, like, I mean, I'm there's not much to these characters because they were pretty simple, I feel. And the overall story just makes them, like, advance or whatever.
Yeah.
But why were they stuck in what I felt like were the 70s?
I didn't understand that either. I was trying to figure out where the timeline was. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the problems that I had with this movie. Didn't establish where they were located. Didn't establish what time they were in, because they went from roaming around in the 70s, and then she started talking about like blockchains and stuff like that, and I was like, well, that's cell phone talk, so that has to be closer up in the 2000s. So why are they acting like they're, back in the day? So what I think this movie takes place is probably like 05 through 2010, somewhere around there. Like not in the 90s or anything like that. You still had people in that early 2000s eras that couldn't let go of the 90s, so that kind of explains the pimp and the pimp outfit, and kind of like that baggy clothes that they were wearing, stuff like that. So I don't know. I was just like, but blockchains goes even further than that. So yeah, the whole timeline and everything we just never explained.
For me, it was just like, damn, why does all this feel like I'm watching like a 70s movie, whatever?
I was gonna say, even the beginning too, as soon as I started watching it, it had like that little grainy feel to the film where it felt like it was filmed in the 90s or something. So I felt like they were trying to establish that the movie was old, or that it was an older time, but then they started talking about newer things. So
yeah, the setting and stuff didn't know what it wanted to be, and it throws me off, because again, this movie's trying to be something I don't think it signed up for. If I'm being for real.
What do you mean?
Like okay. What? Because it's trying to be deep, it's trying to be nuanced, it's trying to like dive into that whole thing, but it doesn't feel like a cure to happiness or Shutter Island. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's trying to be those things, but just stumbles and falls on its way there.
That's the ending that I feel like I told you about. I think that the ending, or like even I think the convolutedness of it, that at first it started with just cloning and trying to, oppress and make people follow along, to no, we're doing it for this reason actually, and then no, we're actually doing it for this reason, and then the end goal is actually for this reason. It's like, okay, like I thought this was just a movie about like fight the power type shit.
Yeah, like I'm sure it would have landed a lot better if it was just another metaphor for like oppression in the 80s or something like that. I don't think it works when it's trying to be this grander thing. And by the end, like you said, like it tries to be that, and it just doesn't live up to it. That's the weird part. And I don't want to jump the gun to the ending, because that's not fair. But like everything else felt so cut and dry, and there was a lot of, like, maybe it's a pacing issue at that point, because it was just like, ooh, clones, and then, oh no, this, and then it's the ending, Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if the first 10 minutes are slow and everything else is ramping up, they're trying to full throttle it to get you to that fucking end piece.
That's what I'm saying. So like the first 10 minutes just felt like generic shit. Then we go a little bit further, maybe 45 minutes into the movie, that you find out about the whole cloning and what they're really up to, and then further along down the road, you find out what they're really, really up to, and then further along down the road, there's even more that they're up to. So they just keep peeling back layers, and though I'm okay with that, they kind of put you on a slow climb and then just strapped you in and said, here we go. And then on top, I mean, kind of what we said about the setting, that world building aspect didn't really help out either.
Yeah.
Because towards the end of the movie, we find out that they are in real life or around real people. They name drop a few places: Chicago, Illinois, LA, whatever. But they didn't really explain where Glenn was. So it just doesn't, like, there was so much that they were trying to deliver on that I don't even know why they went down the road they did like that. I don't know if they were going down a certain road, they got scared and turned.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this might be a little too on the nose right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been a problem probably.
Did you like the characters?
I did, actually. I enjoyed all of them. I liked Yo-Yo. I thought she was hilarious. I liked her the arc that she took. Fonte, I liked him as that serious dude. I loved Jamie Foxx. I think he balanced it out 100%. Yeah, man, I didn't have any issues with any of the characters. I think everybody had like a good. I think the only one that really didn't change was Slicks, but I kind of figured he was a scary snake anyways. He was just doing whatever was benefiting him at the time, and that's basically it. And even by the end of the movie, he stood by that. So I'm just like, by the end of the movie, he kind of helped out and actually outwitted the bad guy and, subdued him or whatever. But it's like he was still doing it for his own selfish gain. So in a way, he's still in character, and I just felt like that was his character through and through. I didn't feel like he needed like a whole different arc, because I felt like the two real arcs was Fonte's and Yo-Yo's.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But okay. So I'm not. Again, the characters are fine. I think they do have their flaws. I know the arc that they were going for toward the end. They all kind of reach it, whether it be the same one or whatnot, which was just about, nah, man, we gotta go get out of here or whatever. But just to take it in sections then, because I think I really did like the reveal of the cloning process, I guess, because I was expecting like Groundhog Day type shit, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But the fact that they would take the body and then just replace it with a clone like nothing happened is crazy. And then they just go about living their day like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But everyone around you...
once in a while, a stray one runs down the street right in front of the other clone. I thought that was weird. Mm-hmm. I was like, why would they release a new clone before they scooped up the old clone? You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of weird about the movie too. I didn't like how they just allowed the main characters to... basically press on, because they showed at one point, they did show that they're, with a word, they can be controlled.
Yeah.
Where did all that go? What happened to that towards like the back end of the movie? Because that happened midway in the movie with the whole club thing that was happening, because we found out throughout the movie the way that they were trying to control was through hair products, chicken, music, and the juice in the church.
Yeah.
So if that's how they were controlling them, and another thing too, how was Yo-Yo unresponsive but everybody else was?
Yeah.
It just seemed like there was a lot of plot holes in the movie. What is called, that plot armor to keep it going or whatever.
Yeah. They were just like, well, might as well.
Like that scene where he had him dead to rights, and he basically told Homeboy to put the gun to his own mouth and all that stuff. It would have been better if he popped them all and then they started again, but they had like the glimpses of their past clone or something or whatever. Like, it's getting to that point where they're just starting to merge or whatever. They could have went down I would have probably agreed with that route a little bit more than just be like, oh, they know my whole plan, I'm gonna still let you go. Like, go ahead and live your life. It's fine. It's not like we can just throw a new clone that doesn't know shit back out there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, when you think about it all, when you really try to break it down, it all sounds crazy. But there's 1,000 other routes that they could have taken where it just sounds better than what they did. I think, I don't know. The cloning process was nice. It was nice to see all that. It was this big whole conspiracy. And yeah, the way they fucking the way they kept them under control was so stereotypical. That shit was crazy.
Yeah. That and it's funny because I wanted to see what, people thought about this movie. There were some people that were like, well, obviously the African American community. I wanted to know what they thought about the movie. And some of them thought it was funny, and then some of them thought it was offensive. If it makes, I don't know if it pulls on your heartstrings a little bit, but Joe Budden hates this movie.
Oh no, not Joe Budden. I mean, I don't really care what he thinks. What does he know? He hasn't had a good rap career, so
yeah.
What does he know?
He doesn't even know how to make good music.
Yeah, like, what does he know what black people like? So,
but I wanted to see where it kind of stood. So some people thought it was a little racy. I think it was like a minority, and then a good majority was like, nah, it was funny. They captured it perfectly. Like, haha, that's us or whatever. And it's like, so I'm glad that only a few people took it offensive. Probably that Karen percentage or something like, oh my God, we can't just poke a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was at first. When I was sitting there, I was like, hey, this is a little like, who wrote this script? Let me. I need to know who wrote the script. And then as like it progressed, I was like, okay, well, at the same time, they're in the hood, or whatever. They're maintained. So if this is what their options are, this is the only thing. This is the only way that they're gonna get them in there. I thought it was weird the way that and it was in the drugs too. They implied it was in the drugs as well, right? Yeah. Because in the beginning he was like, "Oh, your shit's not doing anything" or whatever.
Yeah.
So they also implied it was in the drugs. So there was
maybe that's why it didn't affect Yo-Yo. She was also a dope fiend.
But if she was doing the drugs,
yeah, that's true. So
she would have. That's what I'm saying. Like why she was the least mind controlled is crazy. I thought it was a funny thing when they went to try to put the hair for her the soap for her perm, and it was just a wig.
Yeah.
And she was like, I got you, and I was just like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But what about the other instances where you should have been mind controlled right now?
That was actually really funny.
That
there were some really funny moments in this
movie. There was. I think that scene too where like he found out it was in the chicken, where like he was just in the restaurant and he just looked around and everybody was laughing. He was just like, stop eating the chicken, like it's the chicken. I was like, okay, that's funny too.
Yeah. Oh man, but I don't know. There's not. Okay, that's not true.
I will say too. Sorry to cut you off. I will say his buddy, the funny black dude, that John Boyega was like kicking it with and shit.
Yeah.
That's my spirit animal, bro. 100%. He was like, when they were in the front, he's like, "Can you show us to the elevator, please," or whatever. And then he's like, "Oh, I got you." Like it didn't even care. He just kind of shot it. I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
He had me dying.
His fucking bodyguard or whatever. As far as everything goes, the bigger reveals were kind of nice, and I think the middle of the movie is probably the best part for real, because it's right before the train wreck. Like John Boyega is finding out he's a clone and whatnot, or they found out they're a clone, and they're trying to live their lives properly, and they just can't. Because how do you go back to living like normal knowing you're a clone, basically?
Well, Yo-Yo doesn't let it go.
Well, yeah. They try to, and then what? John Boyega finds out. Basically, big spoiler that his mom isn't real, which is kind of insane. Like how you live your whole life not knowing your mom is behind that door.
That was one of my things too, because I was like, so does that mean he literally dies every day, and they just replace people? Because if he dies, how is Isaac like, nah, I popped you 3 times in the chest and my boy finished you off twice in the car. How the fuck are you still breathing? Like that would have been a red flag, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I thought at first it was a Groundhog Day situation. So that kind of threw me off too. Like how did they not know that he was supposed to be dead?
Exactly.
Are they replacing everybody overnight? Like is that put them all in bed or something? They didn't go that deep.
Well, no. I imagine if you die, you get replaced. But yeah, you would if they were this smart entity thinking that they would at least like erase their memory or something, being like, oh no, he never popped them or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think they put that.
They didn't. No. That you have to draw that conclusion. But again, that's a bigger hole, because again, if I shoot somebody point blank and they die, and then I see them walking normal next Tuesday, I'm gonna be like, how the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that would get you to question shit.
Yeah. And then when he comes back to life, why does he do the exact same things again? Not the exact same, because obviously they try to make it different with the lottery ticket and the clothes that they wear or whatever. But at the end of the day, he does the same exact routine. Why make it seem like it's a Groundhog Day situation if it's just a clone?
Yeah. Maybe it's just a creature of habit thing, because, I can't. I'll circle back, but I imagine it's a creature of habit thing, because if he's doing it every day, he's programmed every day to hit the liquor store, buy and lose a lottery, share his 40 with the homeless guy, and then go about his drug dealing business. But I don't know. I am not too sure about what they were going with, because they didn't cover all their bases as much as they were trying to.
They were trying.
Every movie tries to cover their bases.
I don't know if this one tried hard.
Well, that's why they didn't try as hard as they were supposed to.
But
every movie should try to cover their bases.
They were just like, this is one of those pitch meetings that we watch. That's exactly it. It's like, how did they not know that he just died? Up. I need you to get all the way off my, If
you guys are wondering why there's so many plot holes, this is a Netflix original. Do with that information what you will.
It is a Netflix original too. So we keep going, and obviously we're already touching on the plot. So I mean, we're already there. So explain to the people how it gets to a train wreck for you, because you said it was right before the train wreck.
Okay. So he finds out they're clones and stuff. Yo-Yo, not being able to live her life and move forward, gets taken by the agency. I'm gonna call them the agency. They get taken by the agency that told them earlier in the film, hey, if you guys don't shut up, I'll kill you all and replace you anyway, so it doesn't matter. None of this matters. She gets taken. They decide to, erase her mind, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
What do you call it? So John Boyega's character and Jamie Foxx's character decide, hey, well, we can't let that happen. She was the one helping us out. We got to go get her. And, Slick is just like, whoa. Fuck her, you know what I mean? Like, he just wants to move on. But they're like, no, we can't. So they hatch a plan to invade. Oh, my God. It sounds dumb trying to word it. To invade the little agency where they're holding all the clones and stuff. So they round up everybody, which, as a community, they decide to roll up, head to the liquor store where the hideout is. And they go down there, whatever. They hatch a plan. John Boyega is supposed to die, quote unquote die. The agency will pick him up while everyone else breaks in, but whatever. Again, big plan.
Agency did not confirm death either.
Yeah, no, they were just like, "Hey, damn man, they move fast then."
Yeah, that one was kind of quick.
It's a big convoluted plan. You get the group heading in to storm the castle. John Boyega is supposed to be sneaking around enemy lines. That's the best way I can put it without, giving too much detail. So he wakes up in the thing. He's like, okay, I'm going to go fight for this. Everyone else is upstairs making their way down to free the clones. That entire scene was kind of funny, though, where they're infiltrating the base. Like, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
When he calls his homegirl, his shouty.
What do you call it? So, yeah, they all go in. They all do their stuff. John Boyega confronts his older self, which, I mean...
Good for him.
By the end of it doesn't matter because I'm not gonna give that away yet, but circle back to it, I guess. But yeah, he confronts his the older version of himself. They have a really nice conversation, which I think really shows John Boyega's chops here. He was one of the better halves. I haven't seen any of his work outside of Star Wars
because he got fucking blackballed after The Last Jedi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then the way he was talking sideways about like Rise of Skywalker and everything didn't help either. So, and then he did like Broadway stuff. He's slowly making his way back. That's why he's doing a lot more Netflix right now.
Okay. Well, yeah. So then I guess this is his first movie in a while. But he's having a nice conversation with his older self. Slick and Yo-Yo meet up. They go to save the clones. They're met up with the white guy. What's his name? Nixon. He was the one in charge of keeping the clones in order and whatnot. He wasn't really the scientist guy. He was just the guy that told people where to put them and whatnot. They kill him. They set the clones free. The clones are roaming now freely. No memory, no nothing. They're just walking. Like imagine that shit. It cuts to a news outlet saying, "Oh, this town is full of like clones and stuff. It's crazy, conspiracies, government, yada yada yada." Cut to what, the last like 15 minutes of the movie, while we know Slicks, Yo-Yo, and what John Boyega, Fonte are meeting up, whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we got to travel out." But again, cut to Los Angeles, where we see John Boyega doing his normal routine of working out, buying the lotto, drinking, so on and so forth.
But he has different tattoos.
Yeah, he's tatted up differently. He looks different. Cut to him watching the news outlet talking about the clones and stuff. They flash to Fonte, and then John Boyega back in L.A. So it sounds really convoluted. the guys, his friends are like, "Hey, is that you, Tyrone?"
Yeah.
That's the big reveal that they cloned him or whatever, and then it cuts to credits. I understand me wording that sounded confusing as fuck, and again, that is as confused as I was watching the ending.
It was very confusing. So that whole train wreck that happened at the end was just, they pivoted from different points. So first it was, oh, we're trying to make sure that we, figure out compliance.
Mm-hmm.
And then the older self was basically saying compliance is not necessary. We just need, what is the word they use? It was a big word, but basically to make everybody the same.
Yeah.
No blacks, no whites, no Asians, no Mexicans, no nothing.
Yeah.
So that's how you kind of seen in those tubes, from black to white, basically.
Yeah, they're losing their pigmentation.
The whole transformation and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I told you before, they kind of hinted at it with the scientists who were white with afros and the little chin beards or whatever. And it was that whole part. I was like, okay. I was like, if this is the route that they're going and this is the way that they end it, I was like, that's fine. But why would Fonte? Because for his brother, that they implied that it was kind of what was it, like a white cop that shot him or something?
Yeah.
And they kind of just let him bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to do this to make everybody the same, but what does your brother dying have to do with genetically modifying people to be the same race, people all the way around? I don't know.
I have no idea. That's the thing. Their plan seems so extreme for such a small. Maybe not small to him.
It's not small. It's a tragic thing,
Yeah,
regardless. Because if a police was there
grander,
and it happened,
a grander scheme of things, it's a small event that triggered everything else.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant. I didn't mean it like.
I mean, Batman's parents die and he becomes Batman.
Yeah, domino effect. But either way, he has this whole conversation and he's just telling him like whatever. But how does that work if you're making all these clones? Fonte doesn't even know he has a brother.
That was yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, remember he programmed him, and that's why he seen him in the car in the beginning. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really hard to remember the little kid because they only played on it like twice in the movie.
Fuck, dude.
They played on it once and then confirmed that he was dead. Talked about it for a second in the middle of the movie, and then showed him again another time, instead of building that relationship or something.
Man. Yeah,
like that like
crazy.
If they would have built it to where like he seen him, he brought the kid everywhere he went, like he seen him as his little brother. We're just rolling along, and then at like middle of the movie we find out he's been dead. What the fuck? That's crazy. I didn't know he was dead this whole time. What's going on? Leave us intrigued a little bit, but they just kind of were like, oh yeah, he had a brother.
Basically, yeah.
And we get that tragic thing at the end, and like you said, John Boyega actually does well with what he was given, the way he executed, the way he said it. It was great. And putting him in old makeup, it just reminds me of like the Nutty Professor. So,
yeah, that shit was weird.
I enjoyed that, but for him to monologue, do all that, have all this passion within him, just to get done in by his own henchmen with one of the words that they should have known that would have stopped John Boyega way before he would have done that to him.
Yep.
It's like it didn't make any sense, and it just completely undermined everything he was saying. It was a great performance and everything, but like at the end of it, it was just like you just threw all that out the window.
Yeah.
And you could probably it would have been more powerful if John Boyega, the younger one, Fonte, shot him and shot the other dude or whatever. But even then, I would have still been like, what the fuck? He could have just said a couple words and had him in a trance. So what the hell happened? Unless they stopped eating all the chicken and all the products, but that's not true because you still seen him smoking weed and stuff. And they said that it's in the drugs. So it's by the end of it, with all the information that they gave you, and it's funny because like how you said it, it's like they tried to cover all their bases, but it's like they needed to cover it here, but they put it like to the left of it and they didn't really cover it. So by the end of it, all that didn't make any sense. And then, like you said, with that whole plot twist with Tyrone being actually somebody outside of the city, somewhere else, completely just demolished what he said. Because why does he care about his brother? If you were a clone this whole time, that means they set you up with those memories, and that didn't actually happen to you. So it was a fake resolution.
Exactly.
But it's all over the media and it's exposed. but at the end of the day, Tyrone is just somewhere else.
Yeah, that reveal of Tyrone being like everywhere, like somewhere else across the world, was just like, why? Like, it didn't even feel like oh wow. It felt more of like, what the fuck? Why would they do that? You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a satisfying twist. It was just more of like a why.
By the end of the movie, I seen the credit, because it did a credit roll before they did that whole scene, right?
Yeah.
I was watching the credits. I was like, ain't nobody in this movie called Tyrone.
Yeah.
I just felt they threw that in at the end. They were like, hey man, none of these people are named Tyrone. It was after everything was filming. They wrapped up. They were like, nobody's named Tyrone around here. They're like, fuck, John Boyega, we need some reshoots real quick. Fucking went in there, slapped that shit together, and just was like, yeah, there's Tyrone. I was like, they didn't even set that up. They didn't even set it up. They just kind of put it in your face. It wasn't even like oh yeah, we were thinking that was gonna happen. No, we didn't even imagine that was gonna happen.
Exactly.
We just thought that homeboy lost his brother. He was the OG, and he started working for the white man.
Basically. But yeah, no, it was a fucking mess, this movie. And like, again, it's not to say that the beginning and the middle didn't have potential, but if they would have taken it to a different route to where it wasn't this fucking mess, it probably would have been something good.
No, yeah,
but the ending kind of fucks it all up, and that's the worst part to fuck it up at. Because if you can have a nice middle, a nice beginning, and a shit ending, that's not good. You can have a bad middle and a good ending. Be like, oh, the ending really saved it for most people, but no, you get the complete opposite here. It's not gonna work.
Rough beginning, a pretty decent middle,
and then a shit show at the end.
A shit show at the end. And then they tried to fix it with the M. Night Shyamalan, and they did not do that shit.
No, and I don't know. I'm not sure if that was supposed to lead to a sequel or something like that. But shit, I hope this is a one and done. I don't need him trying to figure out everything else, because that was basically Fonte's whole shtick.
Yeah, now he has to re-find out everything, but everything's been outed. So are they still gonna do that? They didn't have any indication that there was a contingency or somebody else was gonna pull the strings behind.
Well, didn't they say that there's more out there? Could have sworn that they said that there was more outside of Glenn or whatever the fuck.
Well, yeah, and that's why they were like, oh, that girl was saying she had the paperwork. She was like, oh yeah, they're cloning people, and she was like, oh yeah, they have them in Chicago, Illinois, they have them in LA, blah blah blah. They have them in different places. So if they have the paperwork and they're basically outed, I'm sure they're gonna go investigate. If not, then this universe is fucking retarded on planet Earth, because like we're not gonna investigate this further. We're just gonna allow these clones to wander off. Like,
I know I don't know. A lot of questions that they don't really have the answers for, and you guys can totally be like, well, wait, why don't you wait for them to be a sequel? I wish there would have been enough here to make me invested into a sequel.
I will say the gunshots and the little fight scenes that they had were pretty hard-hitting. They were pretty realistic. I liked them. I think when he got shot in the beginning, those, like when they had the camera in the car and he wound up getting popped 3 times.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. The way that they, the cinematography when they showed like the blood of the car and they creeped it in. There was cool shots in this movie. I'll say that. There was like a few good, like, if they were making like a Menace to Society movie, it probably would have been beautiful. Like they could have probably did like
if it wasn't trying to be this big thing.
Yeah, they could have done like a beautiful ass like Ricky movie type shit. And no, it just went convoluted to the point where like, and honestly, all that good cinematography happened in the beginning. And then towards the end, when all that extra stuff was popping up, it literally went to shit. It just went to a regular like directing stance, which was
crazy,
weird. Yeah, man, I don't know. This movie was a Netflix movie.
It was a movie.
I will say again, John Boyega as an actor, really good.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars and Disney really shortchanged them and could have showed more potential if they would have kept him as a more prominent figure in that sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And seeing his chops in this movie really proves that to me. Like, he could have probably done something good. Teyonah Parris as Yo-Yo. I personally don't mind her as Monica Rambeau, but I like her as Yo-Yo better. I think she should do a little bit more of these roles where she can be a little bit more funny
outside the MCU formula.
Yeah, basically, because she brightened up this movie for me. I really liked it. And Jamie Foxx, well, he's Jamie Foxx, and he can never go wrong. I think he does a fine job in most of his movies.
Yeah, I like Jamie Foxx. Did you watch Day Shift?
I've not seen that one.
Him and Dave Franco.
That's the one with the vampires, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get behind it. I don't know why.
You should watch that one.
Is it good?
I think it's alright.
That's not good. You hit it with the all right.
Well, I mean, you want me to lie? No. It has moments. It has really good moments. I think it's really funny. I think you might like it.
More moments in this movie or less moments in this movie?
Like comedy wise?
Mm-hmm.
More moments,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. So worth the watch for the comedy.
Yeah.
I liked them in Power. I think he did a good job in that
Power
one.
was good.
With the pills.
Mhm.
That one was really cool.
To give you a reference, I guess, for Day Shift, it's kind of like R.I.P.D. meets vampires.
Okay. Kind of got that. I kind of got a feeling like it was like something like that. Like, what was the one that just recently came out with Nicolas Cage? I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that vampire one. I thought it was going to be something like that.
Renfield?
Renfield, yeah. Not like an assistant type thing, but like you're going to see like vampires like really like fucking shit up kind of thing.
No, it's not like Renfield.
No?
No. The best thing I can give you is like R.I.P.D. meets.
Okay.
vampires.
I'll probably get around to
you
it.
should. It's pretty good. Hyping up real good Netflix movies because there is some out there, and this one is. I don't think it's one of them.
Some. But any more to add with this one? I feel like we kind of hit every spot.
Yeah,
that this
and
movie
that's
has to
the
offer.
thing. That's the thing, and I don't know how long this episode is, and it can be really short, and it really disturbs me that there's not much to this movie because it's so cut and dry, even though it tries to be something else.
Well, like I said, the comedy moments were great.
Mm-hmm.
We can't shortchange that.
Yeah,
The acting, they acted their asses off in this movie. I think they all did very
best of
well.
what they could, yeah.
The cinematography, for what it's worth, in the beginning was fairly decent, and I just think that convoluted plot towards the end, those plot devices to keep the movie going when it honestly necessarily did not need to go that way, or
Yeah.
if they were gonna try to prolong it a little bit more, they could have went a different route.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it would have caused more questions than answers, and this was probably the ones that the way that they chose was probably like the least questions route. But either way, it still leaves you with some kind of question.
Yeah.
This movie, it tried to do too much. If they would have just simplified it just a little bit more, it would have been better. But for the most part, I could say that it's worth a watch. I'd say at least one watch. I don't know how you went to two, but at least one.
Oh, I watched it. Well, no, I had to watch it twice. I watched it when it came out, like I said, and then I had to rewatch it
Because you only had watched it once.
Yeah, and we were gearing up to do this review.
Yeah.
But like that's the only reason why I watched it. I think I might be done watching it for a minute. But that's the thing. Like it tries to be something different, and it tries to be something new, and it's not thought provoking or anything like that. Not what is it called?
Like what?
The movie that you're kind of obsessed with at the moment.
Oh, Asteroid City.
It's not like Asteroid City.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not like Cure to Happiness.
No.
It's not even like a real M. Night Shyamalan movie. And I don't know who the director is, but he was trying to take a page out of this book. Same with the writers and
Jewel Taylor.
they don't work. What has he done anything else?
He's done Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh fuck.
He was a writer.
Throw the movie away. at that point.
He wrote for Creed 2 and for Rise of the Beast.
Rise of the Beast makes sense.
So this is his first like directing job, and he wrote I Clone Tyrone and directed it.
Okay.
So this is like his first step into it,
Mm-hmm.
which not bad for a first swing, I'd say. I think it's I don't think he played it safe like even Longoria did with Flaming Hot, but at the same time I think he risked it all too much. I think he could have found a balance in between, and he just didn't have it. I think if you look at his writing chops, I think he had a middle ground with Creed 2, kind of went down with Rise of the Beast, and then A New Legacy is just, I don't know, man. I can't even defend that one. That one's crazy. Space Jam 2, who liked that movie?
Man, I don't know. I had no idea. That movie was, I don't know. I fucking
LeBron
before we start digging into another garbage ass movie.
Yeah.
Ready
With that,
to rank it then?
yeah, man, it's all you, man.
Okay.
1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, 5 being in the middle.
Okay. Taking it for everything it's worth, the actors carry this movie heavily. The plot is kind of convoluted and messy. There is a lot of funny moments. Again, some decent cinematography. I know we didn't touch upon score, but there was some nice music choices, I guess.
Oh yeah, hip hop playlists always slap.
Yeah,
you know they got boppers.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know. I don't want to be too mean, but at the same time, I know I'm not gonna be watching this again anytime soon, just because I know it's a fucking mess. Yeah, but again, not the worst, not the best. I would give it a 5 out of 10, just average. Nothing special about this one, I feel.
Got to be racist. I give it a no. I played. I can kind of agree with that. I think. What'd you give it, a 5.5?
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
Like dead 5.
Oh, dead 5, like center. You weren't even being nice about it. I don't feel. I'm gonna be nice about it. I give it a 6. I give it a 6 because I did like the comedy aspect of it. Yeah. I did like the dialogue that they had for the most part. Like I said, it had something in the middle, somewhere around there. And I really like John Boyega in this role. I really liked him. I think he was great seeing him as this, like, you know, not this goody two shoes, but like this like hard thug and everything. I personally like it when, you know, you can see them play these innocent characters, and then you could see them be like this, like full of sin type of character. You know what I mean? And even that ending right there, where like they were just trying to record and trying to be on the news and stuff, and they were all walking in and they're like, "Yeah, we big steppers around here. We pull up. We did that. We did that." I was like, okay. They had me a few times, so I have to say, I'd say a good 6.5. I'd say just because it was funny, acting was pretty solid. I understood the story. The ending was hot trash, and that's why I got to deduct it so many points. Like, if they would have probably stopped it when she was captured and said, "Damn," when she was captured and say, "You know what? I think we should just leave her," I would have been like, "Okay, well, part 2 will be them rescuing her."
Like, what you wants to do about that? Cut to credits.
Yeah.
Damn, that's like a good 45 minutes left of the movie at that point.
Yeah, but that's like what, an hour and a half?
No, the movie's like 2 hours.
The movie's like 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh. I think what you're talking about is that they capture her, and then right after that they hatch the whole plan. So yeah, like
that's like 20 minutes of the movie.
Is it?
Yeah. I paused it before that whole scene was about to happen. As soon as they were like, "Oh yeah," when he got him out the car and everything, and he was like, "We're gonna I got a plan, or you whatever." I paused it. I seen it, and I was like, "Okay, it got like 20 minutes, so it's probably like
so." Yeah, pacing issue for sure. Then.
Yeah, there was a pacing issue. Yeah, there was
pacing issue. For sure.
I'm trying to figure out too now. Speaking about it, where that issue was. It had to be the scenes where they were showcasing what the fuck they were doing again. It had to be those scenes because they showed us again and again his life, and we already knew. You know how like other movies they kind of just like skim faster with like that. You know, makes fast noises. That you know, whatever, they kind of go through the scenes.
The little montage.
Montage. I think it's probably that. I think it was extended by those scenes, and it could have been probably reduced a little bit more if they didn't need to do that, or if they didn't feel the need to do that a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But yeah, 5 and a 6. Not.
How do you not know your mom's not in that fucking room?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly.
You knock on the door, man. You knock on the fucking door. She doesn't answer you. You're not going to just leave the food there and walk away. You're not just going to do that.
At that point, who's picking up the food?
Yeah. You come back home, the food's still there. If she still doesn't answer you, or if the food's gone and she still doesn't answer you, you're telling me you're eating, but you're not talking to me? The fuck's going on? Open this door. That shit was weird.
Yeah. The fact that it ended up being a whole damn tape recorder, too, is crazy.
Yeah. I thought it was sad, too. I think that also showed his chops when he was like, "I need you to talk to me," or whatever, and it starts speaking, and he just like,
you know, John Boyega has the chops, and hopefully he can come back to filming again and all that. Cause
better project though.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Something that highlights him perfectly. Like yeah. he does do good.
You know, I think this kind of does highlight him in a good way, though. I think this shows that, you know, though the movie wasn't that well. I mean, it's well received apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, IMDb gives it a 6.6 out of 10.
Damn, maybe it's just us then. No,
they Clone Tyrone gave it a 94. Well, you gave it a 5, and I see why you give it a 5. It's like I said, that I think the acting really carries, and I think that's why a lot of people probably like it, and the comedy and stuff. And I think it helps overlook that convoluted back end. Mm-hmm. And if that does it for you guys, hey man, this might be the movie.
Yeah, power to y'all.
Like I said, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, 100% on audience score. I don't know if you guys believe if it's being paid or not, but we're not, so you could take our word for it, right?
Basically.
Right.
Basically, yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Not just kidding. Anyways.
Jeez.
Moving on, though. I think that's going to wrap it up, man.
Yeah.
I think we need another movie to review.
For sure.
Something like, not Netflix. I don't want to do a Netflix one again. We got to do something different.
Isn't it crazy that Hulu can put out good movies for its platform, but Netflix has dropped the ball like insanely when it comes to their originals?
Well, because Netflix greenlights everything. At least with Hulu, they were very particular with who they had, but now that they're bought out by Disney and they basically put all the 20th Century Fox movies on there, you know that you're going to get either some bangers or some misses, 100%. Mm-hmm. You know, some comedy movies are some misses, you know, but for the most part, you know it's coming from a major studio. A major studio is literally putting their movies on streaming just like that. Disney would never do that. Well, they would with 20th Century Fox when they have them under their arm. That shit's crazy, bro. But they put out good movies because they actually have a studio with actual writers that, you know, and they pick out who they want. Because even though it's under an umbrella, their own umbrella, they're still under Disney. So Disney still wants to make sure that they're not gonna eat off each other, and all the best scripts go to Disney. So you know that you're getting some kind of value. Netflix just kind of is like, you got a vision? Come here, buddy. How much you need? Buddy, that's easy.
But you're not going to make it back on residuals. No.
Nah, yeah. Residuals, not going to look at that. Quick update on that. Apparently talks are commencing, but nothing's moving. And we're seeing a lot more people out there picketing. I don't know if you've been noticing the sheer volume of people. I told you more people were going to go out there. Oscar Isaac's out there now.
I saw Margot Robbie.
Well,
we'll touch up on that on another episode. We can't get too much into that because that cuts into our actual topics.
And that is another discussion for another day.
Exactly.
See ya, chaps. No, I'm saying, I went British. But with that being said, one more time for the people, Josh, movie they want us to review, help us out in a big way. If they want to catch our live streams, let them know where they can talk to us.
Catch our live streams on Twitch at FilmBros Podcast. We go live every once in a while, every Saturday at noon. That's like 12-ish. Sorry, I don't live on the other part of the world. I live on California time. And when the sun hits 12, that's when we're live. You can follow us, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post when new episodes are up. You can hit us up there for any news, movies you want us to cover. Listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts at FilmBros Podcast. That's Spotify, that's YouTube Music, things like that. Support us in a big way. Buzzsprout, link is in those bios of the socials I just gave you. Subscribers get special perks and shout outs on episodes, so we recognize you for helping us out and growing this podcast that we know you like. And then when it's all said and done, you can subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
Let's go watch another movie. We'll talk to you guys later.